So instead of a weaving video this week, I decided to break out my old Sentro knitting machine that I haven't played with in about a year and see if I could get some good footage of it. I'm working with some really old equipment, like an old camera, a really inexpensive cell phone, and I didn't set them up in the best spot for filming, so there's a whole lot of shakiness in this. If I ever get the channel monetized, which takes about 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in a year, I will buy better equipment and hopefully have a better setup to get some better angles and footage. But that could be a couple years, so we'll see how that goes. If you've never seen a Sentro knitting machine, they're essentially a hand-cranked knitting loom that will knit tubes, and you can make them knit panels. It's easier to do the tube setting. And so you can really quickly knit things like hats and scarves. You can make panels and actually make anything from dresses to sweaters to blankets on these things, but it's super easy to make a scarf or a hat. Before I started weaving, I actually used this to make quite a few scarf and hat sets. I really enjoy using it. I mean, it gives your arm a workout, but it's really fun to use. You can see the color changes and how the colors will play together really quickly. You don't have to spend days and days knitting something. You can just spend like an hour cranking the loom and seeing how the colors go together. When I use the Sentro knitting machine, I tend to use Lion brand yarns with it, the Lion brand acrylic yarns. They go in the machine pretty smoothly. I don't have too many issues with them. I did use at the beginning of this one a reflective Lion brand yarn. The machine did not like it. It wanted to drop stitches, but the other acrylic yarns that I used are just fine with it. I don't know that I would use plain cotton yarn or any thicker than worsted weight yarn in this, but it's pretty cool if you find yarns that'll go through it without getting snagged. This isn't really a how-to video, it was just kind of experimental. Let's see what it looks like on camera. So if you guys want a how-to video on the Sentro knitting machine, please let me know. I have this large 48 pin one, and I also have a really small one. It's good for making really thin headbands and really tiny skinny scarves. I have used this machine to make a tank top before. It was a combination of panels from this machine and then some hand knitted panels that I stitched together. It turned out pretty decent. It was one of the first pieces I ever made. It definitely could have been better, but I may try it again in the future and we'll see how it goes. So I'm still going to be posting starting next week my quick weaving videos every week. Those always tend to be scarves because they're pretty quick to make. They let me play with color and they let me do a nice quick weave on my rigid heddle loom. But I'd also like to start making matching hats to go with the scarves. And the easiest way to do that is on the Sentro knitting machine. So I think what's going to be happening is on Tuesdays, I'm going to post like a quick weave or a weaving video. And then probably on Thursdays, I'll post a video like this, hopefully less shaky, where I make a hat with the same yarns that I weave the scarf with. Now, I know there's some controversy with the knitting machines I've seen online and in Reddit communities about how some people think it's cheating when it comes to knitting. You know, I don't think it's cheating. My only response to that is if you think these are cheating, then you think sewing machines are cheating, because this is just a way to make the knitting process go a little faster. It's a little easier. I happen to think that if you have trouble coordinating your hands with knitting needles, that this is a great way to actually still be involved with some form of knitting with just hand cranking. So I think I said before, I really like these because they can help you knit quick enough that you can see how colors are going to coordinate together, how a variegated yarn might turn out when you're knitting it. So, for no other reason, these are kind of good to get a sample of what a yarn's going to look like, maybe in just a few square inches. And then you can hand knit to your heart's content. So thanks for humoring me this week while I play with the Sentro knitting machine. We'll be back to our regularly scheduled weaving videos next week. I do have a few short videos up this week from last week's scarf, so if you guys want to check those out, you can look at the shorts tab on my channel page.